morning, afternoon. Welcome to another Workshop Wednesday. This is the uh, East Coast, West Coast version of Workshop Wednesday because I'm
Where
actually in.
in the
Where am
world
I?
is Dan today?
That's right. Today I'm actually sitting in the sunroom of my son's home in Seattle, Washington. It's actually
Aha!
Bremerton, which is kind of an oxymoron to have a sunroom in the Pacific Northwest.
Seattle.
Oh,
There,
it
it's
just
sunny
tried
there, though.
it just tried to peek through the window, but it'll go away in a matter of moments.
That's right, it rains in
But there's
Seattle.
no heat out here. That's why I have my hoodie on. So we
What
just
that's
got here
because
last night, actually.
it's a room meant for sun in Seattle. I get it.
Yes.
Okay, well, we're in
They should
sunny
call it
South
they should call it
Carolina.
a cloud room.
They should.
Overcast, overcast room. But yeah, so we decided that we're taking a break from some of the series that we're doing here, and every once in a while we just kind of want to take a take a pulse and kind of recap some of the latest happenings in with regarding QuickBooks. So kind of like a what's new, or we're still trying to determine what we want to call these types of things. But we
In the
just kind of want to
news,
do it.
maybe?
Yeah,
Things you need
like
to know?
right, news you can use, but you already have that for your email newsletter.
Yeah.
So we'll
We
have to
just
kind of
wanna
think
keep
of.
you updated because every maybe 10 days, we all get some kind of an email from Intuit that is a head scratcher, and it always helps to have some insight on why that would happen or what does this mean for me? Because it's not always clear. And
Yeah.
sometimes emails from some random department that has nothing to do with it, and
Hmm.
it gets confusing. So we like to
Well, I
use
mean,
the opportunity to unpack
yeah,
it so you feel a little more comfortable that you can handle your customers asking, "What is"
right. Because if it doesn't result, you don't have a an immediate need to process the information. Chances are one of your clients will or send you an email or some kind of communication request wondering what does this mean for me.
what
So Carrie, the latest one is had to deal with payroll, which there's actually no new news with this. It's already been communicated, and we talked about it before in a prior workshop, but because it's a new email, people are assuming that there is something new. Like, what does this mean? that does this change the prior communication? So you want to share what you're.
hopefully did it work?
I heard it ding, but I don't. There it is. Okay,
Okay,
finally came up.
right. Sorry.
So of course this, you know, the yellow lightning or the yellow exclamation point is always something that
That makes me go, "Oh."
cause cause people alarm, right?
To
But
be
changes
honest,
to.
here's what I do with my emails to Dan, and I be a topic. So we can unpack
Mhm.
together. So here we are. What the I've done is forwarded it to Dan and said, "Let's talk about this."
Right. So it talks about the changes to QuickBooks Desktop Payroll and Enterprise Hosting, which that's the new part of this
What
email is that there's a change in
why
enterprise
would these
hosting price.
why is this all in
Yeah,
one little
like what? Right. And that's part of. I think that's the part in here that's confusing, is the enterprise hosting thrown in the mix with desktop payroll. Um, there is no changes to desktop payroll pricing, other than what they've already communicated. They're getting rid of standard payroll, the standard payroll service. The enhanced payroll service is going to have an increase in the per employee charge from $4 to $5. or $2 to $5 or whatever you were before. It's all going up to $5 per employee. There's no direct deposit. But of course, the question that people ask, especially if you're an accountant, is the enhanced payroll for accountants service, which is usually bundled in with your Pro Advisor desktop add-on. That's not changing. Nothing's changing with that other than the change that's already been communicated that you can't buy it again, right?
So your
Until
grandfather did
further,
at the
until
moment until further notice.
right. So the main thing to keep in mind if you are using enhanced payroll for accountants, don't let your subscription lapse, because that will be the going out the exit or going going out the exit and not being able to get back in. So if you like the enhanced payroll for accountants subscription or payroll service, don't let let it lapse, right? And the way to make sure that is make
Oh,
sure
check those
your
credit
billing
cards.
your your billing information and those types of things that are entered into your subscription inside of your camps account, camps.intuit.com. You can go in there and look at your billing information, make sure it's up to date. I'm sure you'll get some kind of email notice if it is outdated or expired and you need to update those things. But you know, these are email communications from Intuit that they're hit or miss, right? You're either over communicated or you're under communicated, and that there's no happy medium. so so that's the first thing that we wanted to kind of just unpack in here. So if you want to scroll down there, Carrie, because the
Okay.
only other change here is the enterprise hosting if you're on legacy. Right. So now this question comes into uh, what the heck is legacy? All right. So enterprise hosting changed. When was
Ah,
that, Carrie? Was that like a year ago?
it's been within the last 12 months. When exactly, I don't remember, but, uh, it used to be that when you ordered enterprise standalone or bundled with hosting, if you ordered hosting standalone or bundled with enterprise, they just gave you one flavor. Then all of a sudden they were like, today's news is core, classic, and deluxe, which just which opens up the world of possibilities for people that need those add-ons. So well, many people are just fine in core, so that's probably all that legacy was anyway. So they didn't notice anything. But I assume, I don't know. Whatever they had, they just didn't stop working. But now, soon, April, pricing's gonna go up a whole $2.
$2. Yeah, this is like what was that movie with the $2? Better Off Dead, where the paper boy kept coming after him for $2.
So, okay, so it's going up $2, but this is just the legacy bundle was when you would order enterprise, I used to have to do the pricing on this. It was as though you were doing the annual pricing, which is cheaper than your monthly, divided by 12 plus 44 bucks. And that was your hosting amount. So whatever you're paying today should be the enterprise annual divided by 12 plus now 46 bucks. So don't let your credit card expire on this because it's a whole lot more expensive when you hop into the world of core, classic, and deluxe.
Hmm.
And
Yeah,
very
and this is and all we're dealing with or talking about here is the bundled hosting provider, which is Right Networks. When
yes.
you're doing it all in one with your QuickBooks desktop and Right Networks bundled together, right?
Yes.
So
So
before
yeah.
all these changes with the different tiers of options that Right Networks had with the bundle, they just had a one size fits all. That's this legacy bundle that they're talking about. You could get it a la carte, not bundled, or you could get it bundled together. So there is a monthly surcharge, that for that hosting that will occur in April. If you have another host, then this has nothing to do with you. right? So if
Right,
you're
right.
using
It
anything else
this is
out of that, or
actually
if you're on the core, the right networks bundle with core, deluxe, and classic, right?
this
So
does not
that doesn't
apply to you.
affect you.
This is pre, that changed last year in this
Hmm.
and it actually is pretty good news, I think, if you're legacy and you're really good about not letting your billing stuff crash and burn because this could blow up in your face. But, yeah, hold on to this because these prices are pretty good. They're I don't think I mean, nobody else can get these prices. So, if it's
Right.
working, don't break it. If it's not working, we can help you navigate a better option. But if you our motto is, "If it's not broken, don't change it, leave it alone."
Right.
So a whole $2 increase, that's per user, per month.
Mhm.
It's still the lowest price out there for that sort of
For
thing.
hosting.
So call yourself
Yeah.
lucky if you're still in that pricing. All right.
Exactly.
Are we done
All
with
right.
that?
Yeah, you can stop sharing there.
Well, did we already talk about this? You told me to scroll down.
Well, yeah, the payroll changes, the payroll pricing changes, the things that we communicated before. Um, the enhanced payroll annual subscriptions, $500 a year, and then the per employee fee is $5 without any direct deposit charges or anything like that. So
Right.
if you're still on Enterprise Gold or higher that has enhanced payroll
In it.
included, there's no fee. There's no payroll fees.
Right.
Or if you're using the enhanced payroll for accountants, which is an add-on, that does not. This is not affected by any of these changes here.
So
So that
I will the I'm
yeah.
interrupting. So what I want to call out here is if you are an enhanced payroll customer, it's always a good time to stop and look at how much you're paying for this because you're paying 500 a year plus $5 per employee per month and run that math plus the software subscription you're paying for if you're on Pro or Premier and see what that is a year. And then check the pricing for Enterprise Gold and see
Mhm.
which is cheaper because there is no extra fees or anything. It's included, it's bundled. So we're finding a lot of customers just making that change, find that their files are running faster because it's designed for 10 times the file size and it's all in one. The pricing is, very predictable and you're not
Mhm.
having to manage all these different subscriptions. So anyway,
Right.
check it
You
out.
get you get the feature benefits of going to enterprise, and plus you get the bundled or included
Need to
payroll
stop
costs. So
share.
I think what we've done it maybe it's like a five. If you have five employees and you're using enhanced payroll and with pro, it's actually cheaper to use enterprise gold
So
for a
if you
single
need
use.
Yeah, if you need help, any help navigating and doing a cost analysis, we're here to help with that because it can be pretty significant. Sometimes it's not, but it's always good to check that. I love digging up savings for customers. So
Yeah. So I'm going to share my screen here, and we'll kind of recap some of the feature changes or the features that have changed since last we spoke. Right. So there's a website here that you can go to take a look at the changes in QuickBooks on a monthly basis. Most of this is going to be dealing with QuickBooks Online
of course,
updates because
that's where they're
yeah,
focused.
right. And you can
Desktop
see
is not
every month migration assistance, migration assistance, migration, right? Because they're definitely suggestive, suggesting the migrating to QuickBooks Online. We're about to head into migration season, or what's it? Service discontinuation season. May 31st is the date that Intuit will discontinue its third oldest version of QuickBooks. So the policy is it's live support for the current version and two
The one
prior.
before
So
and 2 prior, okay.
right. So 23 comes out. There is a grace period for 3 prior. Right. 2023 comes out came out in September. There was 2022, 2021, and 2020 that were the current versions up until that point.
So we're throwing away 2020?
Yes.
It's
So
time.
if we could actually bury that year, uh,
Yes,
discontinue 2020, it's probably not a bad thing. But we're just talking about QuickBooks here. So
and
in May, go
I
ahead.
was gonna say, we probably should clarify that everything is subscription today, so all customers can be on any version. What it really means is just go ahead and encourage them to get on the latest version so
Mhm.
that they don't have anything weird happen with their software. So,
So every year during this time, this is where the desktop people get confused with service discontinuation and discontinuing desktop, right?
well, I
So
wonder why, Dan. There might be some marketing tricks going on maybe?
right. So what is really being discontinued is the services, the online connected services with QuickBooks Desktop for that third oldest year. So QuickBooks 2020 will be discontinued for live support, online banking, payroll, charging credit cards. All of the things that if it's an online service and it comes into QuickBooks Desktop, you just won't have that functionality using QuickBooks 2020. Um, Now, so what that means is that year's version will kind of fall off. Um, if you call into it, they won't support it anymore because it's not a live
You
version.
can
But
still
that
use it.
leaves,
Right.
yeah,
It's not gonna
it'll still
it's
open. It's not going to
won't blow
conk.
up off your computer. It won't wipe off. Your data is your data. Unless you
Exactly.
delete it, nobody's gonna come in and throw it out.
But the email communications that are going to come out about this service discontinuation are heavily focused on don't upgrade to 2023.
Go to
Why
QBO
not
and
go to
throw the
QBO,
world
right? That's
upside
that's a
down.
suggestion. So bear that in mind. You can, 2023 is still available. You can purchase Pro or Premier. You can't, Carrie will tell you she can't advertise uh, Pro, but it is still available for sale. Um, and what that also is
Seeing
going to
any
mean is that once May 2021 or this year happens, May 2023 happens, the only versions of QuickBooks Desktop that are available are subscriptions at this point, because
right.
2021 was that first year that everything was sold as a subscription. So if you have somebody that purchased 2021 and hasn't bothered upgrading, they can, right? I mean, they've already have 2022, 2023, and then this year 2024 will be available for them to download and install because they have an active subscription. That's one of the perks, if you want to if you want to call it that, of having a subscription software, is that you're entitled to having the latest version. Now, because it's desktop, you still have to download it and install it. You have to tell your computer you want the
Or
new
tell your
version.
hosting provider, "I'm
Right.
ready to move to this version," and provide them the credentials to do so.
Exactly. Now, so I was looking at this article
Yep.
here of this migration assistance here, and it's an interesting thing of what I noticed here. Migration Corner, moving from QuickBooks Desktop to online, right? It just talks a little bit about that. But then down here is what I wanted to unpack. So, continued access to QuickBooks Desktop. So, if you have 2023 R3 or like a release, which is the current version of QuickBooks
Okay.
2023, if you move to QuickBooks Online, right? And a lot of people will potentially say, okay, well, I don't want to take all my data, to Quinn, or maybe I have to purge off some of that data. if you have three R3 or later, and you cancel your subscription, just like with QuickBooks Desktop, QuickBooks Online, you still have your file or your version of QuickBooks. You can open your company in a read-only state in Desktop for a year after you cancel your subscription. So QuickBooks 2023, I thought that was an interesting caveat to all of this. As long as they're using QuickBooks 2023, and you don't have an active subscription, it will still open the files as
You own that?
read-only. So you'll be able to review that data. So that was an interesting
That's new.
discovery. Yep. Another thing here that I wanted to, so it'll match now foreign currency banking transactions and online banking. We talked about this adding payroll for your clients from QuickBooks Online Accountant, which is just changed. You have to do it from your, if you're managing the billing. There's some time set up for QuickBooks Online customers. This was a neat one. So the QuickBooks Checking, which is the default bank, set up a new QuickBooks Payments account. You can get a business checking account called QuickBooks Checking, which is actually an interest-bearing savings account, right? So able to make your deposits into QuickBooks Checking, and put in an envelope and things like that to save for sales tax and those types of things, so that you don't inadvertently spend your payroll spend your payroll amount, which would be a bad thing if you're running payroll and you don't have the funds to cover that. But now you can do mobile check deposit in QuickBooks Checking for Android. So no love for the iPhone users out there, but I'm sure that'll probably come with it. But if you have an Android on the QuickBooks app,
Oh, boy.
you're able to make mobile check deposits into your QuickBooks Checking, which is kind of neat.
Yeah, but
And
how many people have iPhones? But that's a start. Okay, I'll
yeah,
look at the glass half full. Glass is half full, not half empty, right, Dan? That's what you always tell me.
right. Just because you have an iPhone and you're left out in the dust there. Let those Android people work out the kinks, and then they just add it to
Yeah.
the iPhone app. Right. So those are some of the neat or the newer things that I wanted to see. They have this they refer to the article in some of the Facebook posts I've seen about the difference in pricing, but again, that's a recap and a rehash of those
Same
things.
old, same old.
So yep.
So the migration season or whatever, not migration, you said sunset
Service
season.
discontinuing.
Well, we
Yeah.
call it sunset season. So it's a good opportunity for people that are on desktop to review what they've got. Um, if there's any reason to, if they're happy in what they're doing and it's not broken and there's some specific things that that desktop can do for them, leave them be and just make sure they're in the right within that family. Otherwise, you're going to throw their world upside down in the middle of tax season. Might not be the time to do it because they'll be needing some assistance in the new switcherooski. So do keep in mind, if they have that do-it-yourself payroll, they have to keep it. They really like it for whatever reason. Then look at that the enterprise gold.
Exactly. So one last thing we wanted to talk a little bit about the changes here at School of Bookkeeping is we've made a new offering available for those support types of things, right? So we have our our core for small business. We have our premium for accountants, which has access to our entire course library. We have our elite, which includes our online chat support for for it's all of the everything that's in premium is in Elite, and now we have an Elite Plus because every streaming service now throws a plus at the end of it. So we thought we'd
We have to
just
give you
follow
a
suit there.
program, but it gives you a very deeply discounted hour of
Yeah.
support.
At just I mean, it seems like I'm getting an email every day about price increases. I mean, we just talked about one, as it's $2 for a legacy price increase, or payroll or whatever it is. Things are increasing in pricing. Web
Overhead's
hosting,
up.
everything
Overhead,
across the board.
everything. Well, overhead is up, so
Yeah. So you had to make Carrie had to actually make the tough decision. She's actually been holding steady at her billable hourly rate for the better part of what, a
and
decade,
I
right? I
think it
mean,
was 10 years I didn't raise it, but we had to. I mean, we've got to keep our good people, so you
right?
want quality people, we had to raise it, so
Yeah. So you actually made a significant increase from 150 to 225 an hour, but you kind of had to make up for lost time not doing that.
yeah.
So we've kind of incorporated an hour of support in this Elite Plus subscription. So it gives you an hour of, we call it one-on-one private tutoring to go along with the school aspect here. But you can use that for whatever time that you want to have. It's you pay just a regular monthly fee, which is actually less than hiring someone. I'm undercutting. We're undercutting ourselves with CBG, but for an hour, but for a monthly subscription, you get Elite Plus, which includes an hour each and every month. So I'll throw the link in there once I find it to in the comments. So if you ever want to take a look at that and maybe subscribe to the Elite Plus subscription level of School of Bookkeeping, we appreciate that.
And the
Also,
Bleh.
go ahead.
Keep interrupting, that's just my thing today. So, just wanna highlight, you don't seem to highlight this, and I have to highlight it. So, the elite
Mm,
membership, a
okay.
lot of people come to us and they're like, "Help, I'm dealing with Intuit support, I need help, I need somebody with a secret back door." Well, we have the secret back door, I don't know what we call it, but if there is a way to get a case, ramped up and get some resolution, we do have that secret way to do it. So, if you join the elite membership, you get access to that. So if it can't be handled, it can't be handled. I mean, some things are, you buy a lemon car, there's just not a whole lot we can do. But if there is a way to handle it, we can get you way ahead the front of the line and get it done while you continue to work and calm your client down. So a lot of people are like, you really can do that? And so we say, well, okay, if you don't trust us, do a day pass and see. And then they usually become customers for life. So it's Dan likes to he doesn't like selling stuff, but honestly, if you find yourself very frustrated with Intuit support and you know that it's one of those things that you can throw that out on all those Facebook groups with all the brains of the brains, and we don't know what to do, it literally requires somebody at Intuit, reconfiguring or doing something behind the scenes that we can't do. We have a way to that. That's a perk as me for under CBG that we use over at School Bookkeeping. So keep that in mind. You can come to the Facebook group and scream and cry all you want. There's not a whole lot we can do, but we can through this program. So give it a shot.
Yeah, and it's a monthly subscription, so cancel anytime if you don't find any value in it, or downgrade to another flavor of our subscription if you want to have access to the course content. You'll also have access to the community and everything else that goes along with it. In addition to that, but I did put in the link there in the chat if you want to
And
check it out and see what that's all about.
And another thing, talking about the course content, so we keep we know everybody has like a case of ADD because of social media, life, whatever. So we have purposely, like Dan said, nope, you're rambling too much, redo the video. So we purposely made videos that are 3 minutes each. So you don't have to slog through an hour-long video to get to that one nugget that told you how to get whatever number. So we've got the outlines pretty clear, so you can zoom right to the course that you need. We've got bookkeeping fundamentals. And it's also another way you can send your customers, if you're a pro advisor, if you're not an end user, and you just don't have time to teach them what is a reconciliation. Why do I need a balance sheet? We go through all the terminology, and it's all the stuff that I remember every time I would do a support call. They're asking me for that. They want to know the fundamentals so that you're not speaking another language. So we've got things like that in there, as well as, all the basics around QuickBooks Online and all the features. And then the best part of all is the course that we have about how to pass the certification. Now, we have that terrible, I even have to do it, the advanced QBO exam. It's awful. And
You're just like pounding on your desk there. Just like
I need to get it done. And so Dan doesn't give you the answers. Like, I really wish he would just do it for me. It doesn't happen like that. So I'm with you there. I had to call it and let that thing roll out. So I have to do it myself. So he gives you tips and tricks on how to get it done. And this is the time you want to get you going for your top pro advisor. You got to have all those things done. Get it done. And that those courses that he's created, we actually had them in school bookkeeping, and he redid them. So they're real helpful. So
yeah. So it's not a cheating guide, but it is a strategy to be able to set up your system so that you can find the answers a little bit easier than if you need to.
and it's an open book test, but it's the hardest
Yeah,
test. It's harder than the CPA exam because it's open book. So the answer's there. It's just how do you find it and navigate while you're in the test without starting over and losing your place. So anyway,
exactly.
it's very much worth checking those videos out. You may be a member and you don't even know what's in there. So go in there.
Go there, check it out. Yeah.
Check it out.
And
Give us
and
feedback.
every lesson has a comment, right? Like, so if you have a question in there and you post a comment in there, we'll get notified and we can address it. So the next person that might have the same question can have it all in one place, because that's really what we want School of Bookkeeping to be, is a one-stop shop for all of your
Support
QuickBooks needs
needs.
for you and your clients.
Yes.
And here we are. The awkward awkward dismount of of how we. So next week we'll probably pick up our series. We may have some additional guests joining us here from Corpay or Lightspeed. I'm not sure who's
Which
going to be
one's
joining
gonna
us
be
next week.
available.
So
But stay tuned. It'll be worth it. We do
all right,
partner with a lot of vendors and try to find good ones for you. So we want to introduce you through these series. So stay tuned.
all right, and we will see you next week on Workshop Wednesday, and have a great week.
Thanks for joining.